Welcome back. So today I will show you how you can get user inputs directly from the browser. So let's erase all what we've done in the previous video, and then get started with some user inputs. So the first thing that we want to have here, for example, is a text input. Let me import Streamlit again. So the first thing is text input. You can have it directly from the text input method. So you can add a label, enter some data. We can set the value to an empty string. I will keep everything by default. So what we type here in this section is actually received inside this variable. So let's check this. I will get the text input and then I will print it directly to the browser so that we can see that Streamlit can effectively get your input. So Streamlit markdown, my input is, and then I can put my text input inside this section. Okay. Okay, so actually this text input is now none for now. So yep, markdown, my input text is, so I'm gonna keep it inside my string because actually it gets confused with other attributes of the markdown method. Okay, so my input is empty right now. I can add some inputs from the interface. This is a description, and once you hit enter, Streamlit will rerun the code and then it will update this. Okay. As you can see, it currently updates, and you have to hit the command, the enter command, so that it gets updated. So yeah, I can get my first input, which is basic text. I can get a text area input if you want longer text, for example, a paragraph. Enter a short description. And as you can see, you can specify the maximum number of characters and the height of your text area. But I will keep everything to the default values. So yeah, you can enter some values here. Now, let's say, for example, that you want to insert some numbers. And you can do this with a variety of ways. The first example, input number, so I call it number input, is by using the number input. And basically the number input has some parameters. So first of all, a label. So enter some number value. You will have to specify the minimum value, let's say 0. Minimum value is 0, and then maximum value to 100, for example, and then the default value to, let's say, 50. And then you can specify the step, and basically the step is by how much you will increment the selector to move to the next value. So step, I will put it to 1. Yeah. Isn't this great? You can update the value, and once you update the value, it will get updated directly inside the variable number input. So now let's say I want to display all this data inside a section. So enter some data. I will change it to your name. Enter your name. Okay, I will change this. Okay, enter this description, for example, what do you do? It's a job, for example. And then age, which will be the number input. So I will specify the default value of the age to 10, for example, or no value. Let's keep it empty. And then I will display all this data inside a markdown. So st markdown. Okay, so I will specify the first line as the name. So name, job. Okay. And then age. Okay. Actually, everything is empty here. What I can do here is if name is different from an empty string, plot this. Okay. So if my name is Ahmed and I'm a data scientist, and then I put my age. So what you can see here is every time I update this, this will get reflected directly on the interface. So yeah, I can put my age here. Now I can add other types of inputs. For example, if I want to put a checkbox inside my app, I can do it very easily. So if I'm available for work or not, so is available for work. Okay, I can add this by calling the checkbox available for work, and I can put the default value. So the default value will be false, for example. It will be unchecked, so I will keep it like this. So yeah, available for work, and I can plot the value st.write is available for work. So if I update this, it turns to true. Okay. Let me show you other types of input. You can add a slider, for example, which is not that different from the number input. So let's say, for example, that we want to, you have a threshold value that we want to change on a slider. Let's call the threshold st slider. So my slider will have a label enter, pick a threshold. So the mean value, I will put it to 100. The max value, so the mean value, I'll put it to 1, sorry. The max value to 100. Then the default value to 50, let's say. And then the step to 1. Okay, and then I will print the threshold just under this widget. st write threshold. Okay, so what we can see here is that the value threshold updates dynamically as we scroll and go through the slider. I can modify the type of the value here to make it, for example, float and float type. So I have to change the step. Let's say, for example, I want to pick a step of 0.1. What I have to do here is change the types of these variables. If I enter save, I will see that I have an error here because I must change the types of these values. So I can add a floating point, and then this will fix. Okay, so as you can see, I will have this dynamically changed. Yes, so another widget that you can specify is the list selector. So if I want to do this selected element, I can use the selection select box and provide a label, and then you have to provide a list of options. So item 1, item 2, item 3. And then you can, once you select an item, the item gets dynamically changed inside the variable. So selected element. Yep. So as you can see here. Okay, so as you see, that's very easy to collect some user data and to make everything interactive in the app. If you want to learn more about what you can do with Streamlit, you can have a look at the documentation as well and the projects. If you look at the Streamlit application I built, you'll see that I have different types of selector inside this sidebar. I have a slider to select some noise data. I have other sub-selectors. So everything here is using these different widgets. In the next video, I will show you how you can organize your app in sections to make everything clean, everything well organized, and visually appealing for your user. We will see how we can add columns and how we can add containers to put different semantic elements, and then how we can put our filter and our control inside a sidebar so everything gets useful and ergonomic for the end user. So thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.